Battle of Kolombangara. The Battle of Kolombangara was a naval battle of the Pacific Campaign of World War II, fought on the night of 12-13 July 1943, off Kolombangara in the Solomon Islands. A Japanese Tokyo Express reinforcement force commanded by Shosho Shunji Izaki and comprising the light cruiser Jintsu, the destroyers Mikazuki, Yukikaze, Hamikaze, Kiyonami, and Igure, and the destroyer transports Satsuki, Minajiki, Inagi, and Matsukaze made a run down the slot from the Upper Solomons to land troops at Vila on Kolombangara by way of Kula Gulf on the night of July 12, 1943. An Allied force commanded by Rear Admiral Walden L. Ainsworth and comprising the United States Navy light cruisers USS Honolulu and St. Louis and Royal New Zealand Navy light cruiser HMNZS Leander, and the destroyers USS Nicholas, Obanon, Taylor, Jenkins, Radford, Ralph Talbot, Buchanan, Maury, Woodworth, and Gwynn were deployed in a single column with 5 destroyers in the van, followed by the light cruisers and then by 5 destroyers in the rear. The U.S. had landed troops of the 37th Infantry Division on New Georgia to attack Munda the week before and had just placed Marine raiders ashore at Rice Anchorage on New Georgia's northern shore to seize Barrow Cove. Admiral Ainsworth's mission was to protect the North Shore beachhead from attack by the Tokyo Express and if possible to prevent Imperial reinforcements from landing. At 1 o'clock on July 13, the Allied ships established radar contact about 20 mi east of the northern tip of Kolombangara at 7 degrees 50 minutes south 157 degree 21 E/7.833 degree S 157.350 degree E/-7.833, 157.350 coordinates, 7 degrees 50 minutes south 157 degree 21 E/7.833 degree S 157.350 degree E/-7.833, 157.350. Ainsworth assumed he had complete surprise, but the Japanese had been aware of the Allied force for almost 2 hours. The destroyers increased speed to engage the Japanese force while the cruisers turned to deploy their main batteries, but the Imperial destroyers had already launched long lance torpedoes and turned away. Jintsu engaged the Allied ships and was subjected to concentrated Allied fire. She was reduced to a wreck, broken in 2 by torpedo hits, and sank at about 1:45, with the loss of nearly her entire crew, including Vice Admiral Izaki. On the Allied side, Leander was struck by a torpedo and, severely damaged, retired from the battle escorted by Radford and Jenkins. Ainsworth pursued the Imperial destroyers, but both St. Louis and Honolulu were struck by torpedoes and damaged, while Gwynn was struck amidships and scuttled at 9:30 the next morning. Honolulu and St. Louis were out of action for several months, while Leander was under repair for a year and never returned to action during World War II. Rex Wood, who was a seaman on the HMNZS Leander at the age of 19, was one of those who had the task of closing the ship's watertight doors to prevent it sinking, and then removing his drowned shipmates once the vessel was safely in port. Except for Jintsu, the Japanese force escaped damage, and the transport destroyers successfully landed 1,200 men at Vila. The Emperor's men had won a tactical victory, but of the action the naval historian Samuel Eliot Morison wrote, "A string of such victories added up to defeat." Though at a severe cost, Ainsworth also accomplished his mission of preventing an attack on the Marines, and combined with the earlier Battle of Kula Gulf, successfully deterred the Japanese from future use of Kula Gulf in reinforcing Munda. After the Battle of Kolombangara, the Japanese chose to use Vela Gulf, Blackhead Strait, and the more constricted passage at Wanawana, resulting in a series of nightly attacks by U.S. destroyers and PT boats against their reinforcement efforts.